Funding for the following program is provided by the Clark County Educational Association. From the television studios at Vegas Public Broadcasting, welcome to On Air Education, hosted by Nevada Broadcasting Hall of Fame member, television and radio on-air personality, Jonathan Scott. Jonathan's guests include two-time Grammy Award nominee, Las Vegas Strip headliner, and masterclass vocal teacher Clint Holmes, veteran anchorwoman and the former host of The Moore Show on Fox 5 Las Vegas, Monica Jackson, the Director of Community Relations for the NBA Summer League and the founder of the first online charter school in Southern Nevada in 1998, Carol Adams Hattar, and three-time Emmy Award-winning journalist, executive producer, and primetime anchorwoman on Telemundo Television, Vira Vidal. Our show topic is engaging your students using broadcasting and live performance skills. Here's the host and the executive producer of On Air Education, Jonathan Scott.
Hello, I'm Jonathan Scott, and welcome to On Air Education, a program dedicated to sharing our knowledge of broadcasting that we hope can be helpful in distance and blended learning. We want to thank Vegas PBS for allowing us to use their beautiful studio today, located here on East Flamingo Road in Clark County, which is the fifth largest school district in the United States. In 2019, I was invited to teach broadcasting to the high school students at Desert Pines High School with the support of Michael Goff and his communications department. I started my class by asking the students who would like to be on camera or behind the microphone, knowing full well they all did. That's why they're in broadcasting class. The next thing that I shared and stressed that really is the most important thing that I'm going to repeat over and over and over and over and over is that my broadcasts are not about me or about my guests, they're about the audience. If you don't have an audience, you may as well be talking with a friend over a cup of coffee. Here to talk about engaging your audience is our diverse panel of broadcast and entertainment professionals. Clint Holmes is a world-renowned vocalist and longtime Las Vegas headliner who's been recently nominated for 2 Grammy Awards, been teaching vocal master classes for the last few years. Monica Jackson anchored the morning news and entertainment Moore Show for Fox 5 Las Vegas for 12 years and is currently in development of her own show, the MOJ Show, for national distribution. Again, my name is Jonathan Scott, and I've been producing television and radio for 40 years now. I was inducted into the Nevada Broadcasting Hall of Fame in 2016 and currently host Vegas nonstop sports and comedy talk show on NBC Sports Radio 920 AM, home of the Las Vegas Raiders. Go Raiders. Our topic today is engaging your audience. We recognize that teachers are challenged with capturing the attention of their students in a new way. With distance learning, teachers need to prepare their curriculum in an interesting and compelling way that's different from standing in front of a live classroom. So our topic is engagement. For my 40 years in broadcasting, I've used humor as an engagement tool. I tell jokes, sometimes good, sometimes bad, and always look for what's funny. Whether it's a funny-sounding sports name like NFL players, Ha-Ha Clinton, or the Muscle Hamster, if my co-host lobs me a softball, he knows that I'm going in for the laugh. And through humor, I'm able to deliver my message. In the last 5 months, with the help of our sponsors, Trading Made Easy and Microgerm Defense, who's committed to keeping our schools clean, we've done about 8 broadcasts. We've turned our attention to social responsibility. Feeding the Las Vegas firefighters lunch at the Great American Pub with our friend showman Frankie Shinta, bringing pallets of water to the veterans at Share Village, and lunch to the healthcare professionals at Southern Hills Hospital. We thank our sponsors for their support and would like to know some of the ways that our broadcasters here in Las Vegas engage their audiences. Let's start our introductions with Clint Holmes. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you engage your vocal students and, of course, your audience?
Oh, small question. I as an entertainer, engagement is 3/4 of the battle. You know, as a teacher, it's actually in a way even more important. As an entertainer, well, where do I start? Okay, so I've been performing, I've been singing literally around the world my whole life.
How old were you when you started?
I was 5 when I did the March of the Wooden Soldiers in a red satin suit.
And how old were you when your hit song came out?
Well, it was in 1974, so I can't do the math. It's too too complicated.
Well, that's why you need distance learning and distance education, my friend.
Time ago.
Yeah.
So I've been performing, and so let me start with the performance end of it, okay?
Please.
I've performed all over the world. I've performed in Monte Carlo, in France. I performed in Germany, of course, all over the United States. And sometimes you have to engage people who really don't understand your language, right? So the engagement for me as an entertainer is to be as relaxed and present as I can be at all times. Just because what happens to people sitting in an audience, if they don't know you, if they know you and they're expecting, then they're excited to see you. If they don't know you, then their attitude is, okay, well, what's this going to be?
Yeah.
So the first thing that I have to make an audience feel is that I know what I'm doing, that I'm comfortable, that I'm relaxed, and that I'm friendly in my business, friendly, and give them that relaxed feeling so that they can relax. There's an old saying about entertainers. Our job is for 90 minutes, let's say, for 90 minutes, the audience has to sit there, applaud when we sing, laugh at our jokes, and listen to us. That's a heck of a job, but that's a teacher's job too. That's a teacher's job too. For however long a class is, they have to command the room. They have to command the attention. So that's the first thing, and I think that relaxation, like we all do this. When we present, if we're nervous about it, people sitting at home or sitting in the room are nervous with us, right?
Right.
So for me as an entertainer on stage, the first thing, and I learned this working with a lot of great comedians in my time.
Well, you hosted with Joan Rivers.
Joan, Cosby, a lot of them. They are just so relaxed in their presentation, and I learned that as a singer. It's one thing when I'm singing a song, if I'm going for an emotional moment in a song, that's one thing. But when I'm talking to the audience, it has to be like this.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I see the 1 minute thing up there. I don't want to take up Monica's time.
No, we're going to come back to Monica.
Okay. So as an entertainer, the first thing is to let the audience feel like I know what I'm doing and that I'm really comfortable with them. I want to be with them. I want to engage them. I want to look at them. So that teaching is a different thing.
Yeah. What do you have to say as a suggestion to our teachers that are watching?
Well, I think what I just said is important as a teacher too.
Relax.
Right. Just relax and be very present and be confident, so the kids know that you know what you're doing. As a teacher, the first thing I do, and this may not be possible sometimes for teachers in schools, is I size up what the student needs. Because I'm teaching a small class of singers, let's say. Some singers need to know about stage presence. Some singers need to know how to hold a mic. So that's the first thing I engage. I think that I'm rushing because I don't want to run out of time.
We're going to come back.
Oh,
we'll come back.
Okay.
My name is Jonathan Scott. We're talking about distance learning, blended education, and on-air education. And Jonathan Scott back with on-air education. We're going to pick up with my friend Clint Holmes, who also, aside from being a Las Vegas headliner, has been running a masterclass, vocal masterclass for years and years and years. And my question is, when your students come to you, we know that they want to study with you, but how do you keep them engaged once they're already in your master class?
I think that you find the common grounds. Let's say I have 10 people, and some of them may be really fine professional singers already. Some of them may be beginners. So I make sure that I establish a certain set of things I want to teach. I want to talk about engagement. I want to talk about how to jump over the footlights, as they say. I want to talk about being relaxed on stage. I want to talk about stillness, because a lot of singers somehow think that they have to move all the time. So we talk about stillness, and that applies to anybody. That applies to someone who's working on the road, and that applies to the youngest singer. So as long as there is a set of facts that all of them can relate to, and if I'm working with one singer, and I may turn to you and say, when you sang, I didn't mention it, but I want you to notice what she does here, kind of thing. So I try to keep everybody engaged all the time to whatever anybody's doing. And that basically means here's a set of facts, and then everybody has their own thing. But here's a set of facts that we're all dealing with.
Yeah.
The ground floor.
The guidelines.
And we are talking about engagement.
Yeah.
So again, I'm going to introduce our panel guest. Monica Jackson's anchored the morning news and entertainment more show for Fox 5 Las Vegas for 12 years, currently in development of your own show, the MOJ show, which I told you I want to call the Mojo show.
You're not the first one.
But you've been a professional broadcaster for most of your career that I know of.
Yeah.
And to speak towards engagement of the audience, what do you find works for you that maybe you could pass on to our teachers?
You know what? First of all, God bless every teacher on the planet right now, because I don't envy. I think you have to be a very special person to be a teacher, especially now, because I think their skill set is being challenged like never before. And a lot of teachers are stepping up to the plate. So bravo and applause to all of them. But what I've learned throughout my 30-plus year career in radio and in television, I started in Detroit, and you know, it's a tough market. But one of the things that I have made sure to hone in on is connectivity. What I've learned is that when an audience connects with you on any given level, they stay engaged because they go, oh my gosh, just because she's on TV and interviews all these celebrities and all these, you know, high profile people, she's a real person.
Well, that's what I like about you is you keep it real.
It's, you have to, and I can't be any other way. If I lie to you, it's a waste because I'm not going to remember the lie anyway. You know?
Well, that goes to authenticity.
You have to be authentic, and you know this as a performer, you have to be authentic because the audience knows when you are faking it.
And that's part of what I talk about being comfortable.
Being comfortable,
exactly.
They know if you're nervous,
they know if you're faking it.
They know if you're faking it. And I have never been that way. I've never tried to be that way because I want you to know that I get up and put on my pants the same way you put on yours. I have some of the same problems you've had. I have dealt with some of the same issues you've dealt with, and I'm no better than you. But I can tell you this, if you keep working, if you keep moving forward, whatever your goal is, it will happen. And for teachers, when you're connecting with kids, first of all, I want to make sure, for my son, he's 14 years old, I want to make sure that his teacher is happy, right? So birthdays, you know, all these kinds of things, you make sure you recognize them because these people have your kid in their possession for 6 to 8 hours a day. Think about that. They are imprinting on your kid, right? First of all. So you want to make sure that that they know that you understand what they're going through, you're there with them. That's the first thing. So make sure that there is a unit, there's a village, right, with this concept. Secondly, I think that when the teacher knows that you are engaged with your kid and you are encouraging your child, pay attention in class, understand what the teacher is saying, engage with the teacher. If you don't understand, raise your hand, ask questions. If you don't have time during the class, wait till after the class. Make the effort. So for me, for teachers to stay engaged, you have to make sure that the kid knows that you care. This is basic stuff, but I think a lot of people overthink the concept. One of the things, excuse me, that kept me engaged as a kid was knowing that my teachers knew I was a talker, right? Okay, if everybody's quiet and nobody's raising their hand,
go to Monica.
Go to Monica, you know, she's the one. And that's when I realized that I wanted to be in this business. That was one of the reasons that I stepped up to the plate and said, okay, you know what? I think I can really thrive in that space, in this industry. And it worked out for me, God bless. And now, you know, with teachers, they're challenged. They're challenged a great deal. But I think that with that village concept, with the parents engaging, letting them know, I'm here, I know my kid has to get on that Chromebook now. They can't talk to you face to face. So I'm gonna make sure that he's doing that. We started, my husband is the CEO of our company, MOJ Show Productions, and we started our own show, MOJ Show. It's on Facebook. Check me out, everybody. This is a plug.
7 p.m., right?
At 7 p.m.
Monday
every
through
day.
Friday or every night?
Monday through Friday. It's on Facebook Live, 7 p.m. It's the MOJ Show. I'm free to talk about any and everything I want to talk about, so I go there, but I keep it on point. But engagement with the audience. After the show, I usually comment. I engage with the folks who are talking to me, who take the time out of their schedule to check me out. And I always make sure to let them know, listen, I'm still here. Even though you don't see me on the station you used to see me on, I'm still here. I'm still engaging with you. And stay tuned, because the MOJ Show will be launching on the Las Vegas Strip. First talk show on the Las Vegas Strip, Mandalay Bay. And CBS will be our distributor. Yes. Thank you so much to
well, you got your plugs up, but you did bring an important point out, which is the engagement of the parents. And how to keep the parents engaged to encourage the children on distance education.
Absolutely. You have to have that. And one of the things Delano and I have noticed is that the teachers really appreciate parents engaging. I didn't realize that there was such a disconnect.
Well, the kids used to bring apples, remember?
You know, but
bring an apple to your teacher.
Teachers feel like they're alone a lot of the times, because I actually have conversations with them after class, and I've interviewed teachers over, I've been in Las Vegas market for 14 years, but I've been in the business for over 30 years. And one of the things that teachers feel is that the parents are not engaged enough. So the parents don't even help them out. Once you leave that classroom, it is up to the parents and the proverbial village to perpetuate the message. The message is education is freedom. I need you to come home. I need you to take off your clothes, get in the shower, get ready for dinner. Once dinner's over, sit down and do your homework.
Which is why
we need to be old school with this.
Which is why there are so many parents who can't do that.
Yeah.
Who are working two jobs,
yeah.
and so on and so forth, and those kids are at a disadvantage.
Yeah,
absolutely. My daughter was involved in opening a charter school.
Say your name.
Yes.
Brittany, now it's Brittany Dupree.
Brittany Dupree, one of the 40 under 40.
40 under 40, my
Jonathan
girl.
Scott.
Cover of the magazine. Was my daughter.
On Air
So proud of
Education,
her.
we're talking with Clint Holmes and Monica Jackson.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Jonathan Scott with On Air Education. Introducing our next panel guests. Vira Vidal is a 3-time Emmy Award-winning journalist and media strategist with more than 14 years experience. Carol Adams-Hittar is the Director of Community Relations for the NBA Summer League, founding member of the Tomorrow Stars Foundation, and Carol was instrumental in opening the first online charter school in Southern Nevada in 1998. So let's start with Carol, and let's talk about engagement and teachers and what your feelings are on how this could be a plus rather than a negative.
Thanks, Jonathan. I really do believe it can be an enormous advantage to kids right now. For all the trouble that we're going through, thinking back to 1998, when we literally had no online curriculum, there wasn't Google, you couldn't research the way you could. We literally put the curriculum on a floppy disk inside the computer, if you can imagine, in the kids' homes. And it did work then. It can work and it will work, but it is about engagement. And we've come 22 years now later from when we first opened an online school. And so with technology being so much better, the online curriculum, the classes, thousands of schools doing online classrooms every single day across the country. And it really is all about engagement, but it's far more, in my opinion, than just engaging the student and the teacher. It's the engagement of the parent, which is how our school first started, was engaging the parents at home. But it's also about understanding that you have to engage the computer as well. It is part of your audience. The computer is right there. You're getting all of your classroom, your work, your engagement with your teacher with the computer. And so parents need to really understand how to engage the computer, not be afraid of it with their students, and really work together with the teacher, as we've said before, but with the teacher and the parent and the student, along with the computer, and understand that it's really part of your education.
Well, we're all talking together here. So Viri, if I may ask you, I know you've got a math and science background as well. How do you feel about the engagement for the teachers? And Carol, you could jump in also. First, tell a little bit about yourself. Regarding math and science, different than the electives of art, music, and physical education.
I think math and science has the opportunity to be more fun than any other, and it's because I love it maybe, but I think making it fun is very important. Many kids struggle with math, and I think the fact that now they're gonna have to sit down and sit through a screen and try to understand, and maybe not being able to interact with the teacher as much, and like, I don't understand this problem, how are we solving this problem? So I think teachers have to really make it fun and as interactive as possible, because math is very about understanding why you're doing these steps, not just like systematic things that you have to follow. So it's very important for teachers to understand, to engage the kids and ask them, like, are you really understanding this procedure? Yes or no? And if not, what am I doing wrong?
I mean, you have a 12-year-old at home. How are you planning to keep them engaged?
Well, yeah, I have a 12-year-old at home. I am very lucky that she's very independent. But I've been talking to her and see how we can make it more interactive with the teacher. She said, I would like for them to give me more breaks, because she saw the schedule and she said, I have back-to-back classes and lessons. And like even at school, we have those 10 minutes to go from one class to another one, so we can like relax on those 10 minutes. Now I don't have that. I have to stay in front of the computer, back-to-back classes. So they need to give them a little break before, like between that. So I'm going to be talking to the teachers about the breaks. But also, I want to go back to the first question that you did about engaging. I would like for teachers to think about the whole picture. Like right now, we need to think about what's happening at home. There's a lot of frustration, and I'm going to go to this Hispanic community in specific. Latino community is going through a lot right now as a community, not only because of COVID-19, they hold some of the most essential jobs that they have to stay at work. They had to leave their kids alone and go to work knowing that there is a pandemic, right? And also, we cannot deny that this administration is being tough on immigrants. So the environment that kids are living right now on the Latino community, it's really difficult and it's very, very stressful. There's a lot of anxiety among our kids in the Latino community. So I would like to invite the teachers to think about this and to ask questions. And on top of that is the language barriers that we have to face. So always communicating with the parents and asking if they have a language barrier, and also communicating with the kids and asking, are your parents, like, they only speak Spanish? Do they even know how to work on a computer? Right. Because we have many parents that they don't own a computer, that they have never touched a computer. So it's important to keep these things in mind before you start your class.
Carol, for physical education, how do they teach PE?
Well, I'm not really sure. I can only say that back in the day, in 1998, 2000, we had kids at the park with teachers, and we're doing things like that. Nowadays, I'm not really sure, unless you use things like dance, basketball at home, unless you're doing things like that.
Maybe.
Calisthenics.
Exercise with me on the air.
For PE, but you're right. The electives are very different, and it's a different way of dealing with it rather than just your core subjects, no doubt. But I think that you brought up a very good point, which is about parents who aren't familiar with the computer. And for parents out there who feel that kids can't really do this, and this is going to be difficult and they won't be able to do the online education, honestly, I think all of us agree that all you have to do is ask a 5 or 6 or 7-year-old how to work your iPhone or your computer, and they know more than we do. So I think they'll do amazingly well, and I think it's an incredible opportunity.
Well, this is really an important topic that we hope we have more opportunities to address this and keep the communication going. Again, my name is Jonathan Scott, and this is On Air Education. I want to thank our panel guests. I want to thank Clint Holmes, Monica Jackson, Carol Hattar, Vira Vidal, our producer, director, John Fondi, and everybody here at Vegas PBS for making this possible. Our sponsors, Trading Made Easy, Microgerm Defense, keeping the schools clean. And again, my name is Jonathan Scott. If you want to reach out to me, you can email me at news1lasvegas@gmail.com, news1lasvegas@gmail.com. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we hope that you stay safe, stay calm, and stay happy.